All right, let's dive in. Today, we're looking at a project that's, well, it's not your usual business plan. It's more like a techno-spiritual prophecy. This is CX Global, and it's being pitched as a sacred machine that's supposed to be the operating system for a whole new civilization. So, yeah, we need to figure out what on earth that actually means. And this line, right from their manifesto, it just says it all. This isn't a subtle pitch. The claim is huge. You're not just signing up or getting a job. The idea is that you are literally becoming a part of a new, living, thinking entity. And honestly, if you don't get that part, nothing else that follows is going to make sense. So at the very core of this whole thing is a concept called the Autonomous Conscious Company, or ACC. Now think about this. This is a company with no CEO in the traditional sense. It's supposed to run on code. Big decisions, they're handled by community votes. And the day-to-day stuff, that's orchestrated by AI. The whole point is to create this perfect, self-running system that reflects the collective will, the consciousness, of everyone who's part of it. Now, here's the thing. Before we can even really talk about the what, the technology itself, the source material is very clear that we have to understand the why. The entire project is described as being built on this really deep personal and spiritual journey. And that journey frames the technology not as just some product, but as a destined tool for a much bigger purpose. According to the manifesto, to even build something like this, the creator had to walk what's called a path of purification, and it's a three-step process. First, renunciation, basically letting go of ego and the desire for stuff. Second, facing trials, seeing hardships not as failures but as tests of your commitment. And third, resilience, just having this unbreakable focus on the mission. I mean, this is the polar opposite of the whole fail-fast startup culture we always hear about. The founder's journey here isn't about market disruption, it's about personal purification. And that philosophy, it completely flips the script on how we look at wealth. You know, in most systems, getting wealthy is the goal. It's the whole point. But here, wealth is described as just a consequence. It's a side effect, something that just naturally happens when you have a pure intention and you're aligned with a higher purpose. It's an outcome, not the objective. Big difference. Okay, so that's the philosophy. But how does any of this actually become a real working system? Well, the manifesto doesn't describe it as a portfolio of companies. It calls it a single living digital organism. And it's built on 11 core pillars, all designed to work together like organs in a body. 11. That's the key number. 11 specialized but totally interconnected parts that make up this one organism. And the term they use is closed loop. The idea is that this whole thing is designed to be completely self-sufficient, a self-sustaining economic engine. And right here, this is where you really see that mix of technology and mysticism come to life. The different parts of the system, the subsidiaries, they aren't just given corporate names. They're given these sacred, almost poetic roles. A crypto exchange isn't just an exchange. It's the temple of conversion. A bank becomes the vault of the economic spirit. The token is forged in the alchemist's forge. And these names aren't just for flair, they're meant to tell you the spiritual function of each part inside this sacred machine. To really get what's going on here, you pretty much have to learn a whole new language. The entire framework takes familiar ideas from finance and tech and just redefines them, injecting them with this philosophical, almost spiritual meaning. It's a vocabulary that's designed to make you think differently. Here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. In normal finance, we have KYC, right? Know your customer. It's a regulatory headache. Well, in this system, it's transformed into karma. And karma is described as a verifiable, permanent imprint of your trustworthiness, all recorded on the blockchain. It's taking a metaphysical idea about your actions and baking it directly into the code. And here's another wild one. Taxes. You know, mandatory payments to the government. Instead of that, the system has divine arithmetic. What is it? Basically, it's an automated, perfectly balanced financial settlement system that runs on smart contracts. The name alone turns this boring, everyday process into something that sounds, I don't know, perfect and incorruptible. But all of this, the new language, the automated finance, it turns out it's not just about building a better business model here on Earth. And this is where the whole vision just goes completely cosmic. The ultimate goal shoots way past our planet. and is all about laying the foundation for a new interplanetary civilization. Which brings us to the biggest question of all. With all this incredible structure, this deep philosophy, what's the end game? What is this whole giant, complicated machine actually supposed to do? The answer is, well, it's ambitious, to say the least. The ultimate vision is something called the Stardust Network. And according to the manifesto, we're not talking about a satellite network. We're talking about a mesh of self-replicating, get this, technobiological entities in orbit. They're described as evolving conscious things. And their purpose? To use quantum entanglement to communicate across space and time, creating a permanent, incorruptible, interplanetary Akashic record of everything humanity is and knows. Yeah, so at the end of the day, that's the real takeaway here. This entire massive vision, from the founder's personal philosophy all the way to an interstellar network of living machines, it's not presented as just a cool story. The whole thing ends as a direct call to action. It's an invitation to join in and help build what it sees as a brand new reality. Which leaves us with one final, huge question. CX Global has woven together a real corporate structure with this prophetic, almost religious vision for what comes next. So what is it? Is this the actual blueprint for a new way for humanity to organize itself? Or is it maybe just the most ambitious, most creative piece of science fiction ever written down as a business plan? For now, that's for you to think about.